Implementation of the Green City concept in the city of Surabaya. Is it possible to support the achievement of the SDGs? In the 1980s and 1990s, cities contributed to global economic growth and development, but paradoxically, provided little basis for long-term sustainable urban growth. Their behavior is quite contradictory because the sustainability of the city has a wide impact on business development and investment. Rapid urbanization puts pressure on clean water supplies, sewage, the environment, and public health, affecting the urban poor the most. In many cases, urbanization is characterized by urban sprawl and peripheralization, which are not only socially divisive but increase energy demand, which in turn puts pressure on carbon emissions and impacts ecosystems. Unique opportunities are always there in all cities to jump onto the green global economy. There are also real opportunities for national and city leaders to reduce carbon emissions and pollution, improve ecosystems, and minimize environmental risks. The city of Surabaya has grown rapidly starting at the end of the 20th century. Urban development planning has begun to be directed at implementing green city and smart city approach. These two concepts are run together to support economic growth. The rapid development of the city of Surabaya has caused social problems such as urbanization and density of settlements, road congestions, and also a decrease in the quality of life. The Green City philosophy reflects the notion of appropriate social structures and values existing in a given society and is not entirely new. It can also provide new ways in which problems of environmental degradation, unequal access to public infrastructure, and spatial segregation based on economic segregation give rise to scenes of socio-economic disparity. The development carried out by the government and developers affect the face of the city. The essence of the idea revolves around the need to coordinate and integrate technologies into their program mix, which have hitherto been developed separately from each other but have clear synergies. They need to be interrelated so that many new opportunities can be realized that can improve the quality of life of residents. The concept of green city is now closely related to the concept of smart city and is not limited by the development of recreational areas. In other words, a park in the middle does not make a city green. First of all, green cities are areas with effective management, developed infrastructure, energy-saving technologies, and emission reductions that harmoniously integrate urban development and the environment. The Green City philosophy reflects the notion of appropriate social structures and values existing in a given society and is not entirely new. For example, the idea of a garden city was formulated in the early 20th century and associated with the characteristics of an agrarian industrial economy, proposing principles of governance based on regional autonomy. The modern concept of green city appeared in Europe and spread rapidly throughout the world, but in different countries, this idea has its own interpretation. The notion of smart cities emerged over the last decade as a platform for ideas on how new technologies can improve the functioning of cities, increase their efficiency, and increase their competitiveness. It can also provide new ways in which problems of environmental degradation, unequal access to public infrastructure, and spatial segregation based on economic segregation can be addressed. In Surabaya, there are still many conditions that are not in line with the UN SDGs, namely vast slum areas and polluted rivers. The building is damaged and unsafe. traffic is chaotic and pedestrians are scared, air pollution is actually still high. Lack of parks and green open space, poverty, injustice, and an unsafe environment for women and children, lack of parks and green open spaces that are broad and representative as a source of oxygen for city residents when in public places, such as roads, pedestrian areas, and so on. In Kenjeran district, there are still many dense and slum settlements, as well as poor sanitation and clean water. Although each house already has its own latrine, the sanitation system is still poor because pollution and other pollution still exist along the coast in Kenjeran, where most of the residents' livelihoods are craftsmen and processors of various seafood, namely tripang, lorjuk, salted fish, crackers, and etc., whose waste is dumped into the river. This causes other pollutions. Unorganized settlements also worsen the health environment around residential areas. Next, in Asamrowo district, the existing river is very polluted. There is still a lot of garbage in the river. Settlements are mostly congested and run down. This interferes with the sustainability of urban development. There are many problems to restore water-related ecosystems in these densely populated settlements. Even though the Surabaya city government has been fully active in realizing a go-green development. At the international level, at the start of the Green City experiment, more emphasis was placed on minimizing environmental impacts by increasing the efficient use of energy, water, and land, and reducing waste and emissions. The planned development, by applying the Green City concept, leads to the implementation of effective development management, develop infrastructure, energy-saving technology, and emission reduction that harmoniously integrates urban development and the environment. Shortly, the implementation of a green city must lead to a sustainable city. There are obstacles faced by the Surabaya city government to realize sustainable development goals.
Universitas Airlangga has also taken significant steps and action within the campus activities and values as exhibited by its 17 SDGs related accomplishments. It is our hope that by establishing the SDGs Center, Universitas Airlangga is highlighting its commitment to many of the highest ideals humankind is capable of. It is proof of the university's vision, and its goal not come at a better time given the scale, urgency, and complexity of the interconnected crisis that we face today. Universitas Airlangga is ready to collaborate and determine the most sustainable solution to achieve the SDGs through collaboration with many institutions and organizations. Let everyone's contribution inspire better hope for the future. And welcome to the SDG Center of Universitas Airlangga. Thank you.